Think you're getting enough protein? New studies reveal that the optimal protein intake might be higher or lower than you think. If we haven't met before, what's up? I'm Lockie, a final year sport and exercise science student at Oxford Brookes University. With a passion for sports science and fitness coaching, I provide key insights into current sports science literature and provide actionable training strategies to apply the concepts we speak about to your training. So today we're going to dive into the optimal intake of protein to clear up any confusion, because there are a lot of new studies recently that may go against what we normally think. So in this video, we're going to break down the latest research on protein intake, explore how much protein you actually need, and show you how to optimize your diet for muscle growth and health. So let's talk about the current confusion of protein intake. So for years, the standard advice for protein intake was around 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. This was set for general health, not particularly bodybuilding or supporting intense physical activity. So no wonder so many people were left confused when they weren't seeing gains, but it was because their protein intake wasn't as high as it should be. Now, thanks to modern research, we know that the old recommendations fall short for what you should actually be taking, especially for those participating in either strength training or really intense physical activity. Tagawa and colleagues highlights the relationship between protein intake and lean body mass, suggesting that even increments of 0.1 grams of protein per body weight can massively increase lean muscle mass. This research challenges traditional lower protein recommendations and suggests that higher levels of protein intake can result in more optimal muscle growth and recovery. So what actually are the new recommendations for protein intake? And is there a threshold for too much protein per day? So there's not necessarily a threshold for where there is too much protein intake, but a study by Morton and colleagues shows that any more than 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight in protein per day doesn't significantly increase muscle mass. So that just shows that 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day is an effective threshold for protein intake when combined with resistance training. So you really don't need to be going above that 1.6 gram threshold. But this threshold varies depending on age, resistance training experience, and overall diet, because the same study shows there are diminishing returns at an even sooner point for people that didn't engage in resistance training. So for people that didn't engage in resistance training, the threshold for diminishing returns was only 1.3 grams per kilogram of body weight of protein. So how can you tailor your protein intake to fit your lifestyle? So according to Tagawa's research, like we said before, if you're not engaging in resistance training, but you want to maintain the muscle mass you have, there's no need to go above 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. But obviously it's still recommended to engage in daily moderate physical activity, and this 1.3 grams threshold will not be affected even if you slightly increase your daily physical activity. But obviously this threshold can change if you engage in more resistance training instead of just physical activity in terms of cardio. So if your goals are more focused on endurance, or if you're older and are aiming to reduce muscle loss, significantly increasing your protein intake from the baseline to 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily could be a good recommendation for you without needing to overdo it. So for a moderately active person weighing 70 kilos, that 1.3 gram threshold would mean about 91 grams of protein per day, which is easily manageable across 3 meals and potentially a snack. Aim for foods like eggs, chicken breast, Greek yogurt and beans to reach these daily targets. And for those in resistance training, try and spread that protein intake throughout the day to maximize muscle protein synthesis. So using that 1.6 gram threshold, an 80 kilogram person like me would only need 128 grams of protein daily, and that can easily be split to 4 meals of 30 to 35 grams each meal. The takeaway? If you're active or lifting weights, the old recommendations might leave you short of your actual protein needs. Aim for 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight every day to maximize protein synthesis. But if your activity level is lower, aim for between 1.2 to 1.3 grams per kilogram of body weight to maintain muscle, but without overdoing it on the protein. The goal is to personalize your protein intake based on your level of activity, not adhering to a one-size-fits-all guideline. So to recap, the outdated 0.8 grams per kilogram recommendation might work for minimal health, but doesn't support muscle growth. For resistance training, aim for 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight, and if you're less active or focusing on maintenance, aim for around 1.2 to 1.3 grams per kilogram for optimal results based on recent studies. How much protein do you currently aim for? Let me know in the comments if you've noticed any changes in your physique with varying protein levels. And if you're interested in more ways to optimize your training and nutrition, check out my recent videos on how to optimize your training naturally. As always, if you're new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to get notified every time I post, and smash the thumbs up if you like this video in particular. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.